Oof, no tea left. Save getting my stuff out twice. I'm going straight into this straight after the Becca video, and I'm not really ready for it. Still, keep it short because it's people's Sunday time. Right, Martin. I was going to talk about the points you made in your video, but I think I'll just link to it below because it's bloody good. Thank you very much. It's a bloody good video. The only thing that, it was a bit uncomfortable. I mean, you must have felt it slightly, that it's bigging up us internals a bit, which I'm sure it made you slightly uncomfortable making it. But yeah, maybe we deserve a bit of a boost every now and then. But it's a good video. It's a damn good video. Further, that's the one I didn't. I thought it was the weakest point, but I think it's right that we. Okay, in fact, actually thinking about it, it is a bloody good point. Martin was saying that we go further. Yeah, and the next points are kind of limitless limits, as in. The externals soon find their limits that they're comfortable within the watching television. They know when they're watching television, they're in their comfort zone and everything will be fine. As opposed to internals who have, especially if they don't get stuck, and this is Martin was endorsing what I said about don't get stuck, try not to get stuck on any particular religion, philosophy or philosopher or whatever. Don't get stuck. Every now and then, as Martin said, he's got stuck, I've got stuck, everyone does get stuck, but I think the key to not getting stuck is by knowing that nobody has, let's just say, all the truth, but underneath that is nobody has the truth. But let's just have it as nobody has all the truth, so there's no point being stuck on them, with them, because they're not going to give you all the truth, so you have to move on to find more truth, and that's truth, eh? So yes, the internals, if they do the wanderings like so many internals do, they go further on their wanderings because they find out more and they find more roads to go down. And as long as they don't get stuck in some pub, inn, hotel, beach, and can move on, they will go down a lot more roads, and their life is spent going down roads. Our lives are spent going down roads, as opposed to the externals who soon find limits to be comfortable within and stay within those limits. And holidays, for example, are a daring little go out of their limits. And as we know, modern holidays are not really that daring at all, but I think to an external they are, and that's why they so look forward to them, to get outside their self-imposed limits. Right. Actually, I made notes here. And the pillars. Pillars are a bit like limits, aren't they, Martin? As in, they'll set themselves up pillars of things to rely on. And try and elevate themselves up. It's the same as the limits. It's safety. Most people try and put themselves in safety, especially the externals. But the key to the internal is, I think there's more drive. Drive. It is drive. Drive to move on, to find out more, to not accept where you are and what is, but always to move on to find more. And that's what internals do, by whatever means that they do it. Anyway, so that's a little big up for Martin's video, found down there. And all I wanted to say today is I'm rereading Brothers Karamazov. Oh dear, Karamazov. And a bit at the beginning, hit me. They had a character in the early part of the book called Brother Zolsimar or something. Doesn't matter what his name is, but he was the elder, a very important position in the monastery. And it just struck me that linking him with Lisa and an incident that happened, I suppose I've got to tell you what the incident is. I must have been about 8 or something like that, 7, 8. And I was sitting in the schoolroom, and I remember we were waiting for the teacher to come in. And for some reason, we had to wait for 5 minutes. And that's a long time for kids. And I was doing, when I was young, I often had a crazy hour, but it wasn't really a crazy hour. I was having a buzzing in my head. Now, I'd either convinced myself or wanted to convince others that when I got a buzzing in the head, it meant that somebody else had turned the television on. Don't forget, I'm only 7 or 8 or something. And I've got a kind of a flashbulb, the photo memory of this incident. And I got the buzz in the head, which I think was probably adrenaline because people were taking notice of me or whatever. It doesn't matter. And it was quite a long time ago. And I said, well, I can feel it. I can feel that somebody's just turned the television on over there. And my friends were well impressed by this. And I remember them coming around and thinking, don't know what they were thinking, but I was centre of attention because the teacher hadn't come in. There's nothing else to do. And buzz is the word. I was getting a buzz out of this. Now, if you've had a few, like the elder in the monkery or Lisa or whatever, and you've put a lot of effort into trying to find out the truth or whatever we might want to call it, and I don't know, your brain works in a way that you can say quite wise things that people take notice of. And in the book, the Brothers Karamazov, it was shown that him going out and blessing the peasants was giving the peasants and a couple of middle class women an awful lot of comfort. The temptation to just carry on doing this or to just do it must be absolutely enormous, because it gives so much pleasure, seemingly comfort, to other people. It's what other people want to hear, and you find yourself with the capability to say it. So the temptation must be dreadfully strong to just fall into the role of doing it. And I don't know what you'd call that. I don't know if you'd call it fraud or bullshit or what. I don't know that it deserves a label so much, because I think it's just somebody wanting to do something nice, and they're doing it, and it's working. And very soon they would believe that they can detect televisions over there, but they know that they can influence people and are influencing people, and seemingly doing it. People come to them and want more. So what are they going to do? They're going to give them more. If it flows out, then it will flow out, and they'll do more. And you fall into the role of being a guru, a priest, an elder, a master, whatever it is. And I don't think it is so much being a fraud. It's just a role that life gives you. Anyway, that's enough for Sunday. Martin.